What's up, everybody? Coming back with a video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how bad this is for everyone. I don't think people are realizing what is coming in this country if we don't wake up to the reality that's happening. All right? The loss of Tucker Carlson is bad for Democrats and Republicans. Why? Why is that? Because he was anti-establishment. There's plenty. Yes, he absolutely is a Republican, Tucker. I'm not going to pretend like he's a pro-Democrat guy. No, absolutely not. But what he was anti-establishment. Okay, the people have to come to the realization that both of these parties are horrible. Okay, nobody's looking out for the American individual. The American dream has been crushed by inflation. The world is upside down. And we're on the verge of war. God forbid, we are on the verge of world war. All of this has happened in just a few short years. Could you imagine what could... And we just had Biden announce he's running again. Could you imagine what is going to happen with from here out? What's that, 5 or 6 more years of this guy? Or God forbid something happens to him and Kamala steps in? The world is upside down, and what Tucker was a voice against both sides. He would regularly criticize Republicans. That's why I liked him, and I have plenty of Democrat, or at least middle to the left-leaning friends of mine who also liked him for that reason. He spoke up against the establishment. This article from the Daily Mail says something very interesting. Rupert Murdoch, who owns Fox, doesn't like all the spiritual talk. Tucker Carlson was fired after preaching about good, evil, and the need for prayer after tycoon ex-fiancée Anne Leslie Smith said the firebrand anchor was a messenger from God. Rupert Murdoch had Tucker Carlson for dinner at his Bel Air vineyard recently with his ex-fiancée and Leslie Smith. After his final show on the network, Carlson gave a speech on Friday night and talked about good, evil, and the need for prayer. We can't talk about good versus evil anymore, and we can't talk about praying? I pray to God every night for my family, for my friends, for this country. Every night. That's bad now? Is the world that far upside down that that's bad now? Recognizing good versus evil is bad now? One of the contributors to Tucker Carlson's sudden firing from Fox this week may have been an evangelical speech on Friday night where he preached about the good and versus evil. Carlson was fired without warning Monday after leading Fox News' primetime show for 7 years, leading all shows. I think he had the #1 show. There has been much speculation surrounding what sealed his fate. Let me just jump in here. You want to, again, back to what I was saying originally. He regularly criticized both parties. Okay, that's something that nobody's doing, right? Nobody regularly criticizes both parties like Tucker did. Okay, he also called out and questioned why we're sending billions upon billions upon billions of dollars to Ukraine. Right? Listen, I'm the first one. The day one of Russia invading Ukraine, I sent all my clothes there. Literally, I had every extra pillow, blanket, towel, socks, clothes, sneakers, jackets, 6 huge bags of clothing, food, and goods. And I also donated at a local school all my canned goods that I had been saving for myself. All right, to what's going on there. So nobody's more sympathetic or empathetic to what's happening there. Okay, but I did agree with Tucker on at least questioning. That's what I like to. A lot of times he would just say, "Can we at least question and look into some of these things? Or, can we at least say, hey, what's going on here? Do we have a paper trail? Where's the money going? Are we fighting this war by proxy? Are we at war now?" These are just questions. Can we ask them? Honestly, that's the point of this video. I don't think we can anymore. I think the establishment is clamping down on everybody so hard. They don't want any dissent. And I'm not speaking one party or the other. I'm speaking both parties. Again, the establishment. This is how a country is lost. I'm very excited to announce that I will have a good dear friend of mine who is a Cuban who experienced what true communism is like. He's going to be on the show. We're arranging a time for him to come, and we're going to do a nice chat. and podcast form. I can't wait to get it out there to you guys because I want to hear. I'm excited to just hear what his experiences were like in a country that fell to communism. And when I talk to him now and he says all these parallels that are happening about how they clamp down on free speech, they clamp down on the media, the establishment makes sure they're running everything that you see and hear, that this is very reminiscent to what he told me that he was dealing with, that he experienced, his family experience. I also have a very good, my mother's very good family friend. Her parents escaped Cuba. They were very wealthy. They had 3 restaurants in Cuba. And when Fidel Castro took over, they buried everything they had. They had to bury their jewelry, their money in the dirt. They buried it because they knew they were coming. Even though people are saying, no, this is going to be great, this is great. They knew. And within a year, they took everything. They ransacked their house and everything of value they took, and they lost everything. They had no more businesses. The country collapsed, and they were lucky enough to escape to America with nothing. And guess what happened? They came here with zero, nothing but lint in their pockets, and they were able to rebuild in this country and have a good life and left a good life for their daughter. Why? Because they worked hard, and they understood what America represented, the freedom, individual freedom. All right, I went off on a tangent there. I didn't expect to talk about all that, but this is scary to me when we're losing voices that maybe weren't so... obviously he's partisan, Tucker, but the fact that he spoke out against both parties, in my opinion, is one of the reasons they didn't like him either. And I was going to read more from this article. You can go read it yourself. This is scary times we live in, and we just need to be aware, and we need to be allowed to ask questions. And you have to ask yourself this. Identify which side of the aisle, right? Because that's just what we have here. Unfortunately, we only have 2 parties. I wish we had 3 or 4, but we don't. Identify which party or political party or whatever you want to call it, right, left, conservative, liberal, whatever it is. Identify which one allows debate. Identify which one crushes debate. Identify which one allows dissent. Dissent meaning an opposing opinion, and say, okay, well, let's talk about it. And identify which one shuts down dissent and doesn't even let opposing opinions happen. Losing hosts like this who openly criticize both sides, albeit he criticized Democrats more, is very dangerous, and I'm so scared for this country. I'm so scared for the next generations coming up. We need to wake up to what's happening and unite as Americans, not as left, not as right, but as free-thinking Americans. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.